Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about F1, the movie. And this movie came out in 2025, and it stars Brad Pitt, and this is from the same director as Top Gun Maverick, a movie that I really enjoyed and would definitely watch again at some point. And I was interested to see it because it was from the same director as Top Gun Maverick, and also it was nominated for Best Picture, and it was either just buy a physical copy of it or just subscribe to another streaming service, which I really didn't want to do. And I decided to buy the movie, and honestly, I didn't think it was that great. I was kind of disappointed by this movie. It was well shot, and it definitely looked like a movie that had intention behind it and showing you some good visuals. Brad Pitt, I thought he was great, and the racing scenes were definitely fun and entertaining to watch for the most part, especially the one towards the beginning. I thought that was the best racing scene in the whole film. It only lasts for like a couple minutes, but it's still fun to watch, and what it's showing visually is pretty cool, and I liked some of the character dynamics, and I was entertained throughout most of this movie up until the third act, and the visual effects looked pretty great. I never once felt like I was looking at an effect. I was like, oh, cool. This all looks like it's a part of the environment, in camera stuff. And if there's a bunch of CG, I didn't notice it. And that's obviously a very good thing. But what really hurt this movie for me, and if it existed in Top Gun Maverick, then that would have ruined that movie for me as well. But where Top Gun Maverick succeeded and where this movie failed is the editing. It's very choppy. Even in dialogue scenes, it's choppy. Like, not in every scene is it choppy, but if it's just characters standing or just sitting at a table or just racing, like, it had some really bad editing, very choppy, and I'm hoping this doesn't get best editing because this is embarrassing because the cut would happen once every second or two, and it just was driving me crazy, and it honestly gave me a headache. And all I can say about the editing is just ow, because it gave me a headache and I just couldn't stand it. And there were plenty of times where we would get licensed music, and I honestly just felt like the movie turned into a music video for a little bit, and that was kind of distracting for me. And the original score for this movie didn't do anything for me. I barely noticed it, and it was just there and very forgettable for me. And as far as the rules for racing in this movie goes, I was a little confused on how it actually worked or what the characters were doing. It would have been fine if this movie wasn't rooted in the idea that you already have to be a fan of these sorts of things to be invested in this movie, which I'm personally just not. I don't really care about Formula One racing or whatever it's called. It's just not my kind of thing, but I can understand the appeal at least. But I was just confused as to like what was going on at a lot of moments in the film. And no pun intended when I say this, but this movie was very formulaic and predictable, and it just had a bunch of things that just didn't need to be there. And apparently, this movie was just a mess when it was put together. And in the editing room, they had to like cobble together something. And the fact that it's not like a complete disaster is a miracle, apparently. But what we got, I do feel as though the editing could have been a bit better and didn't need to be as choppy as it was, or something needed to be fixed there. And if the final product of it not being as choppy as it was would have been much worse, then I'm glad that we got this cut of it. But ultimately, ultimately I have no idea what that would have been like, and I have absolutely no desire to watch the movie again because I didn't like it the first time I watched it with this version that we got. And there was also a romance in the film that didn't work for me. It was kind of just thrown together and didn't need to be there. And the film also got dumber and dumber as it went along, and it was very difficult for me to get attached to anything in this movie after a certain point. And this movie was also just a worse version of Gran Turismo, if I pronounced that correctly. A movie that I really enjoyed, or Ford v Ferrari. That's a better movie than this, where it has characters I can get attached to, kind of, or be interested in, whereas this movie kind of just has nothing. And that's about all I have to say about F1, the movie. It was kind of boring, very forgettable. Why is it 2.5 hours long? I have no idea. And this is my current least favorite movie out of the Best Picture nominees, and I will be unhappy if it wins Best Picture. The only ones that I haven't seen up until this point are Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, and Hamnet. Those are the only three I haven't seen. So hopefully this is just the worst one, and if there's one that's worse than this, oh boy, I really hope that's not the case. But anyways, those are my thoughts on this movie. If you're really curious about it, I guess you can check it out. It's not like the worst movie ever made, but I would recommend putting it on in a setting where you can pause it if it gets boring. That would be my recommendation. Otherwise, just skip it entirely. So with all that being said, I'm going to give F1 the movie a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of F1 the movie, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Boy from 2010, directed by Taika Waititi. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.